So my name is Brian Holmes. I'm representing CuriOdyssey. I've been with CuriOdyssey for 6 years, and I teach science programs and develop new content for students to interact with. CuriOdyssey, we brand ourselves as a serious science playground. We serve more than 100,000 students per year. So many of them we receive grant funding to support so that we can offer programs to students who have need. We used to be Coyote Museum for environmental education. The museum was built in 1981 around a large central room, which we call the Redwood Hall. There's a picture of it here. The Redwood Hall, we called it the 2x4 model of education, of environmental education, which is to say that we would beat you over the head with a 2x4 in order to demonstrate to you that you are the problem with the environment and you need to change your ways. The museum almost closed in 2006. There was a community action to support it. They raised a great deal of money and donated it to the organization with the proviso that the board be replaced and a new executive director brought in. In 2011, we renamed and refocused. We moved from Coyote Point Museum for Environmental Education to CuriOdyssey, and we expanded our scope from just environmental education to building science literacy. And this allows us to do things like play with trebuchets, and in addition to environmental science. So in that effort of building science literacy, everything we do is real, rich, and right now. And we say real, we mean that we are interacting with real science phenomenon. We don't model things unless they are too big, too small, too fast, or too slow. So rather than teaching children about animals by showing them pictures of animals, we have live animals at the Science Center. We have native animals from California. Everything we do is rich in the sense that what we do must be intrinsically motivating for students. If we pilot an activity and students are not sort of interested in it, we either will refocus it and try to present it in a different way, or it just will not make the cut. And everything we do is right now. This slide has nothing to do with CuriOdyssey. I like to work it into every slideshow because it's a good attention grabber. But when we say everything we do is right now, we mean that everything we do must have an immediate result, or a result that students can measure within the time that they'll be with us. So if they're going to be at CuriOdyssey for an hour, it needs to be something that they will see results in much less than an hour, so that they can try 2, 3, 4 different experiments to try to change the results that they get. We are located in Coyote Point Recreation Area. It is a county park. We have wonderful support from the county rangers. When we were having a discussion as to whether a fence could lead to liability issues. If we lead students beyond that fence, do we open ourselves up to a liability issue? And the rangers just said, we can take that fence down. So the rangers are very supportive of what we do, and we're very grateful to have them. We're very fortunate to be at Coyote Point Recreation Area with a number of habitats, a number of different ecosystems in the park. There's a beach, there is a playground, there's the marsh, some raccoon tracks in the marsh there, and we have a eucalyptus forest. So with all those various environments, we explore them, and we are able to compare and contrast and draw relationships between those environments. We offer programs for pre-K through 8th grade. These are some 3- and 4-year-olds investigating the marsh. They're probably meeting a crab for the very first time. Maybe they're going to get to hold it. We have homeschool programs. We have programs just for older students in engineering. We have a number of community and school partnerships. We are going to LEAD and Fiesta Gardens. LEAD used to be Horrell. We're going to LEAD and Fiesta Gardens twice a week, 2 days a week. We go to each of those during the school year. Most of my time personally is spent going to Fiesta Gardens. We have partnerships with the Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. We offer science workshops and wildlife programs. We can host schools at CuriOdyssey or go to the school site. Our programs are in physical science and life science. We are also working on earth science programs. Most of the time, schools come to CuriOdyssey. We are happy to go to schools, but most of the time schools come to CuriOdyssey, probably, we think, because there is so much to offer in the park, and if you include the wildlife habitats can't come to a school. We are involved in a number of conservation programs. We organize 2 beach cleanups every year. We're organizing 3 or 4 marsh restorations each year, and within which we'll be removing non-native or invasive plants and oftentimes replacing them with native plants to restore that marsh area. The animal keepers who take care of the animals at work are involved in a great many number of conservation projects, including Bay Area Bobcat Alliance, River Otter Ecology Project, Frog Watch. There are others. This is just a select representation of them, but we're very heavily involved in conservation programs. In relation to the National Next Generation Science Standards, we've been working with them since 2013, and we are actually very excited about it because we see those science and engineering practices as our bread and butter, where our focus on science literacy is essentially meaning that we are focusing everything we do on teaching those scientific engineering, or excuse me, those engineering practices, science and engineering practices. We try to work them into everything we do. This is a document that's for our internal use only. It is relating our class offerings, school group offerings, to grade levels, Next Generation Science Standards, and the previous California Science Standards. So this is something we've been using to kind of get our minds around NGSS. And thank you very much.